So you're a young kid, 8th grader, freshman, sophomore, and you want to play college football. You want to play college athletics to some degree. Doesn't really matter what college, doesn't really matter what level, you just want to play at the next level. Making that transition from one end of wanting to just play football and then the other from wanting to actually make it some sort of like career or some sort of pathway to college, completely different, and that's why you have to tackle it completely differently than most things you probably have in your life thus far. As you guys can see from the title of this video, we're gonna be going over some really basic starting steps that you need to tackle. You should probably already have in place if you want to get down any of these recruiting tips and you want to try and get yourself to the next level. I went over a few different recruiting tips, but these are the 5 that I think are most crucial and you should have done as quickly as possible in order to get yourself seen by these college coaches, as I commonly say on this channel. Ultimately, this video is basically for people who haven't really stepped into the recruiting world, and the world of recruiting can be a rough one if you don't know how to navigate it. If you don't know what you're doing, then you could be in your junior year still just emailing coaches and not really knowing what you're doing and not really getting anywhere, you know what I mean? So this video is for those people that really just want to get started with getting recruiting. Maybe in the future we can do a list of advanced tips that you guys can utilize when you're a junior or a senior, just ultimately later in your career. But for right now, these are the 5 different things that you should be going out and doing for yourself in order to get yourself started on this recruiting journey, because there's a lot of things to do. So no fluff or anything. You guys know if you like the video, like it. If you want to see more, subscribe. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Blah, blah, blah. Let's just get into it. Go. Number 1, and I want you guys to listen because it's not a tip on this list, but it is important to be able to listen to different things, even if you think you already know it. I dealt with this a lot because I am stubborn in a lot of ways, so just be open to hearing things from different people, even if it's something you've already heard. Maybe they have a different perspective on it that you might not have heard before. Anyways, number 1 is get in the weight room. And before you guys think, oh, I've heard this before, chill. Just wait, because I am being specific on what I mean by this. I don't mean that everyone has to be big and strong. I don't mean that everyone has to weigh 220 pounds up. They got to be benching 315, all of that. Nah. Actually, my mindset is that it's more important to be explosive than it is to be strong. If you work on how explosive you are, which is really made in the weight room a lot of times through power cleans and other explosive movements, those fast twitch muscles really accentuate your play on the field. They make it so that you stand out a lot more. This will come into play in the later tips that I have for you guys, but for right now, just know that you need to be in the weight room training the right way. Ultimately, you want to be training to be an athlete essentially instead of just being a power lifter. I think that's really important, and that really gets missed on a lot of people. A lot of people ask me, Javis, what are your maxes? And I'm like, to be honest, I haven't maxed in probably like 2 years. Honestly, and I don't think that's a bad thing. To me, maxing is kind of like a self-confidence thing, kind of like to boost one's ego. It's not necessarily necessary at all to any kind of training or anything. It's not going to help you get better on the field by maxing more. Ultimately, that's what training's for. So if I'm not worried about what my maxes are and I just keep increasing my weight of how much I'm repping each week, and then that's how I know I'm getting stronger, then I'm fine with that. I don't need a max, you know what I mean? So just focus on the training aspect of it. Focus on getting faster, focus on getting more explosive, and focus on making yourself that much better of an athlete in the weight room so you can be that much better of an athlete on the field. Number 2 is probably one that a lot of you might not have done actually, unless your coach prompted you to do it for them. And that's basically talking to them about your desires for football or athletics or whatever sport you play past the high school level. Me personally, if I remember right, and I apologize if I'm remembering this wrong, coach, but I had to go out to my coach and tell him my desire to play college football. He did not promptly asked me, and so I wanted to express that to him, and this allowed him to look for college coaches, suggest me to college coaches he thinks I would be able to play for. This is huge. Like, this is huge, guys. If your coach has a lot of connections and they don't know you want to play, what are you doing? I mean, basically you're just setting yourself off wrong. Maybe they don't even know that you want to play past high school, and so why would they suggest you if they don't think you have the desire to continue playing? Having really good communication with your coach is super important in the recruiting process, and it allows you to be on the same page with them as far as like hitting up certain schools, what to talk about with different college coaches, etc., etc. Now, for those of you that might be watching this that are a little bit more experienced in the world of recruiting, bear with me because this one is important and you'd be surprised how many people don't actually do this. But number 3 is to make a highlight reel. And when I say that, I don't mean make highlights. I don't mean just clip out individual highlights of what you have on Huddle or what your parents recorded. I mean put together an actual highlight video to be able to send out to coaches. I've personally looked over some people's film. I've done it in a past video, I've done it outside of the video, and I've looked over people who had highlight videos, and I looked over people who had highlight reels. Individual clips are a lot harder to navigate. Sending individual clips is not really viable for any coach. It wastes time. They're not going to put their time into something like that when they can just click on another kid's video that they can watch all the way through instead of having to click on multiple different videos. And this can really set a lot of people back. So make your highlight videos, make them nice and clean, make them look good, put good highlights in there, obviously. Put all your best highlights in there in the very beginning. I have a whole video on that, so go ahead, click on that right here on how to make your highlights actually good and, you know, enjoyable for coaches to watch and make them want to see more from you. And actually, if you want to see the video of me reviewing my viewers' film, go ahead, click on that right there too. But yeah, guys, just make a highlight, please. I beg you. Don't just make highlight clips and think that's gonna be good enough. Go ahead, make a highlight and put it out everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere, because number 4 is to make a Twitter. This sounds kind of stupid because of social media, but it's the new age. It's just what it is. This is the new meta. This is how we get recruited in today's day and age. There's not really a science to it, but it's more so, it's just an extra layer of exposure that you have the opportunity to get. A lot of recruiting is connections. Do not forget that. And the amount of kids that have told me that they don't have a Twitter, when I asked them if they wanted their film reviewed, they had to retweet my tweet on Twitter. And I was like, why don't you have a Twitter? It doesn't make sense. That's like the main way that people get recruited, and you want me to review your film? What's me gonna review your film gonna do when you could have so much more exposure to people on Twitter? Like, it's a magical thing. It's not like you have to get enveloped in the Twitterverse or whatever it's called. You just get on Twitter for football. Get on there for coaches. Make connections. Have your friends retweet your stuff. Have your coaches retweet your stuff. Have your coaches tag your stuff. Tag your own stuff. This is a really good transition to number 5. Reach out till you pass out. If you're not trying to put out all of your highlight reels, all of your at-home videos, because we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, out into the internet, out into more exposure through emails, through Twitter, anything, Instagram. What are you doing? I mean, really? Like, do you want to get recruited? Like, really? I just don't want to see you guys think that I'm just saying these things for you to do half of them and think it's gonna work. No, you don't do anything halfway and expect it to work. That doesn't make sense. You should utilize every opportunity you can, especially if you're not receiving a whole lot of opportunity. That's even more reason to push out more and more so that you can get more and more opportunities. When you're probably gonna put out 100 different emails, probably get like 2, 5 responses. You know, that's good. Most of the time you are gonna get rejected. You have to keep putting yourself out there. And for those of you that, you know, say you don't have a Twitter, make one. It's free. It's easy. If your parents won't let you have one, show them this video. Please, show them this video. It is important if you want your child to get recruited. It might sound ridiculous, but it's the truth. It really is. It's just the world we live in. So guys, put out your stuff, email coaches, make a Twitter, put yourself out on Instagram, make a highlight reel, all of that. Get in the weight room, everything, man. I'm giving you guys the answers to the test. You guys just need to be willing to take it. You guys need to be willing to go to the classroom and take the test I'm giving you the answers to. The answer is the weight room. The answer is Twitter. The answer is putting in the effort to put yourself out there. I don't know how many times I gotta say it, but I'm just gonna keep saying it on YouTube until someone gets it, someone understands, and someone hopefully gets a scholarship from it or an opportunity from it. Anyways, this has kind of turned into a small rant, I guess, about how people just don't want to help themselves sometimes, so I'm sorry, but seriously, I hope this video helps somebody out there. If it did, go ahead, like it. And if you guys want to see more from me, go ahead, subscribe. I usually don't rant like this, but maybe personality? I don't know. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Twitch and YouTube in the evening times. Sometimes we're kind of loose with it. So go ahead, jump in there. Ask me any questions about what we talked about today, in the past, or in the future, really. And I'm hopefully going to be heading to camp for the Barnstormers here soon, all the way in Iowa. And I'll keep you guys updated about my situation as far as the videos and streaming goes. And basically what I'm going to be planning for that while I'm over there. I got to figure some things out. So I'll keep you posted on my Discord. I'll keep you posted on Twitter. Follow me on both of those if you're at all interested. I appreciate you guys for supporting me. We recently hit 600 subs. Pretty cool. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. My name is Javis. See you on the next one.
Mamma mia!
Get back in there, you dirty plumber.